What up, my people? Aaron should be hopping on here in a second. Get this rolling. Um, yeah, let's kind of give it a second. It's 9 p.m. on a Monday. I'm sure lots of crazy stuff's going on. Well, another storm. Another storm is rolling in. I can't decide if I want it to be winter or I want it to be spring. Um, Racing dirt bikes Saturday. Let's see. Oh, Aaron's joining right now.
Yeah.
We got
Sean,
you.
can you hear me at all, buddy?
I got you. I can't see you, but I can hear you. That may be on my end though. Let me see the settings on this real quick. Can you hear me, Aaron?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any video on you. There you go. We can see you, and I believe we can hear
Sweet,
you.
can you see me double? I see me double.
No, you'll see yourself double. Um,
Oh, it's calling it DJ Osborne. Is it just your screen that is sharing or something?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let me just make sure we got you. I think, yeah, we can hear you. I think. So,
Good.
you're not snowed in anymore. Did you make it home?
We did make a home, yeah. Luckily, well, good and bad, the roads did get open in the nighttime, so when we woke up the roads were open, but we had already readjusted our plans and
Yeah,
made commitments to go out with the Gallatin National Forest. It's pretty cool. Like this year, we've been out a lot with Dave and Mark up at Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center, and
yeah,
it's been really fun getting up there because it's putting us in places that we've always ridden as kids. You know, up in the Centennials and Lion's Head and Targhee Creek and Blacks and stuff like that. So it's been really great to have an effect and start to affect a change in forecasting up there and get to be a part of it and show them areas and getting in and getting out and
yeah.
stuff like that. And their riding skills have come a long way. They're really good riders these days.
Well, Mark, he had some great guys to ride with down in Utah. So,
You taught him good, didn't you, DJ?
we did the best that we could with him. We do miss Mark. Mark Staples is awesome. So, well, that's
Well,
cool,
it's
man.
really cool. We got out with Frank from Bridger Teton last week as well, and got up and showed him a couple ways in and out of a few new areas, and helped them get the weather station back up and going. The new weather station that they just put in over by, well,
Yeah,
so it's working. Things are changing, getting
that's
better.
good. That's good.
It is.
Nice. So, what else is going on? What do you got? Like, are you guys wrapping up your season? You still in winter mode? You still in summer mode? Before you hopped on, I was talking about how I can't decide should it be winter or should it be spring?
That's the challenge right now. That's what always happens this time of year is trying to figure out what to do, what to be ready for.
Yeah.
We've already started. Like right now, it's interesting because we've already started scheduling courses for next year. We've already started ordering snowmobiles for next year. We've been ordering dirt bikes, trying to figure out dirt bike deals. We've been trying to book, getting dirt bike tours priced and
Yeah.
taken care of and booked and stuff like that. So that's one of the challenges about this time of year. You kind of start thinking that you're done. You're like, oh, sweet, the season's almost getting over with. But then you realize that it's not the end of the season, time to coast and
Yeah.
relax. It's end of the season, like I'm gonna have to start doing two seasons and start figuring things out and being prepared and ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how that goes. What's it like for you when you do that?
This was the first, well, last year I did a couple tours in the winter, like dirt bike tours, mixed in with, sled season. And this season it didn't shut off one bit. I like in the trailer in my Trails West, I have a line of moto boots and I have a line of snowmobiling boots, and I have gear for both. Like it's kind of crazy how big the motorcycle tour thing has gotten even in the winter. Um, so I don't know. I enjoy it. It's been fun going back and forth. I don't know that it's chaotic is all get out, because I'm just always like, like what are we doing this week? We riding dirt bikes? Or are we snowmobiling? But I love it.
See, you're it's cool for you being in Utah because you get that opportunity. Like
Yeah,
you're just down by Green River, Moab, and St. George. You can just boogie down and do it. Idaho, we're kind of landlocked when it gets to that. Like there's nowhere that we can really go in the winter time and ride dirt
yeah,
bikes. Nowhere good, at least. Like the Owahis, maybe over by Boise, you can get away with it sometimes in the winter months, depending on
yeah,
how the winter's been. I saw a post from a couple of guys that have gone on a rally with us. They were posting some dirt bike videos this week over the weekend,
yeah,
and it looked like they were shoot. It looked like they were down south by like Preston or something like that, Preston or Malad or somewhere on our south end, and you could still see snow drifts and stuff like that when they were riding around. And I was like, oh, it's starting, it's turning on, it's getting there.
yeah. Slowly but surely. Nice. So, Stable Mountain. You say you're getting ready for moto season. When does your guys' dirt bike season kick off?
Dirt bike season kicks off basically as soon as the snow melts. The difference that most people, I guess, that I've learned is what start means for us is getting out, getting the trails cleared, running routes, making sure that trails aren't just whooped out or destroyed or sloughed away.
Yeah,
And then we do that for several months. And then once June 1st gets here, then that's when our permit lets us start taking guided tours. And so June 1st
yeah,
is when we start leading people into the backcountry on single tracks and two tracks and just all of that stuff, doing the backcountry dirt bike tours.
yeah.
Uh, this year's kind of cool, man. I'm kind of really excited about it. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of not a big deal, but the members of the ISTA, the Idaho Single Track Association, asked me to be on their board,
Oh, cool.
and so I joined the ISTA board just recently, and it was really fun getting with them and like just seeing how serious they are about clearing trail and like not only do they clear trail, but they basically just take on the role of being trail stewards. So
Yeah,
they help the Forest Service and the Idaho Parks and Rec. They help those guys assess whether a bridge needs to go in here or what type of this needs to be that. And they're really the boots on the ground. The Forest Service in our area and the Idaho Parks and Rec do a really good job. The Forest Service has their rangers, and Idaho Parks and Rec has their trail crews. And they clear a lot of freaking trail. They clear thousands of miles of trail in a season.
I was gonna say, I mean, I've riding around Idaho, I've came across a few of those trail stewards, but it is insane how much single track is in Idaho for one, but like it's probably the best maintained single track out there. And there's, I mean, thousands and thousands of miles. Um, I bet you guys have more single track than Utah, but I think Utah's problem is we have too many people on our trails anymore. We need to build new trail systems, or more trail systems, I should say. But Idaho's a beautiful, beautiful state for riding single track. I mean, the area you guys operate in too is really amazing.
It is, it is, and we're hoping to get. We haven't heard back from the other district that we're working with. In the past, they've led us to believe that they will award us a permit
Yeah,
once everything gets here, and I haven't heard back from them. I'm just assuming that that has a lot to do with the situation of the Forest Services and for budget.
yeah,
I, I just think they're all stretched pretty thin. They're not stretched so thin that they can't get the stuff done, but it's right on that cusp of having so much to do that they can't get it all done, or the stuff that they can do is thin. It's just one of those. You get too many things going on. You can't do it 100% anymore. You can only do it 90%, and you can only do it 80%. Right now, it seems like they're anywhere from that 60 to 80%.
yeah, yeah. The Forest Service is definitely an understaffed organization, and unfortunately, they've cut a lot of funding. And I know our Forest Service districts here in Utah, a lot of staff, has been out the door lately, and that really sucks. Just for all my Forest Service friends and stuff, I didn't think that they would cut um, the budget.
There's a couple of surprises. Oh, the
It was.
budget.
It's a huge bummer. Our national parks, the BLM, the U.S. Forest Service, like they're all seeing it. And if anything, those are all organizations that they've never had enough. I mean, not only that, like the
Yeah, that's
Forest
true.
Service works off of grant money. Like everything that they do, every project they do, every trail they restore, they have to file a grant. It's got to get approved, and that's how they obtain the money. And then, of course, hire on the manpower to make it happen. So it's kind of surprising when,
Well, it's interesting to say that because up here in our neck of the woods, when we get grant money to do bridges, like
yeah,
they grant like an 80-20%. And so most of the time, the 20% that the grant doesn't cover, it can be made up in labor, and we cover that stipulation with
yeah,
volunteer labor. And so last year on our Rainy Creek bridges that we put in 4 or 5 bridges last summer. We're talking like ATV, UTV bridges. Like these things
yeah,
are massive. They're, you know, 7 feet wide, and the shortest one spanned like 35 feet, and the longest one spanned like 60 feet. Like these are massive guys. And on in the summer, on both of the first days, we had like it was so freaking cool. We had like 56 volunteers or something like that show
dang,
up. It was a huge
yeah,
number like that. And not only were they dirt bikers, they were dirt bikers. They were the dirt bike club. We had 3 different dirt bike clubs there. We had Ample there. We had the mountain bike club was up there. The mountain bikers were there. The trail runners were there with the volunteering their time. We had like 7 different. No, it was more than that. It was like 12 different organizations of
yeah.
motorized, non-motorized there helping with those bridges. Like there were so many people there that they were like making up jobs. They were like, "Hey, hold this nail
Can
just
you
like
move
this.
that
This is your
pebble over
job."
there?
Yes. And it was, but man, we knocked it out. Like we had 4 bridges done in a day. It was nuts.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, it seems like, the enduro slash single track world. It's not hard to find volunteers usually. I think in Utah it's a little tougher, but in Idaho it's not. Like, I mean, your state has a lot of good stewards and a lot of people that want to help. I've been to a few different volunteer projects here in Utah, and there's 100 people saying that they're going to show up to the event, and when it comes down to it, five. A little bit different here in Utah.
Yeah, it is a little bit different.
But you guys have a great, I mean, in everything that you guys, whether it's snowmobiling or dirt biking, like just strong community. in Idaho for sure.
It's really cool to see. I mean, you get bad apples here and there, but you get that in anything. You get that
Yeah.
in mountain bikes and dirt bikes all across the board, hikers,
Yeah.
horse guys. You get
The
bad apples all over the place.
the the horse guys. No, I was kidding.
Well, I've had some bad experience with horse owners. Like you can't blame them. You don't never know what their perspective is, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
there's been a couple of reactions that they've had that I felt have been really uncalled for. But
So, so like permit stuff, I mean, the rumor is you guys have a new winter permit. Is that?
we did, man. We lucked out. We sweet talked, and we've been working on a snowmobile permit for shoot. How long has it been, DJ? It's like it's
It's
going
been
on
a
four
long
years.
time. And I remember like as it got inched and inched and inched closer, when it finally happened, man, I was so pumped for you guys. Like, um, yeah, man, that was like just really cool. So I'm glad it
Yeah,
happened. Like I'm glad it all came together finally. It's been a long
it
time though.
did.
It's been years. It's been too
Uh,
long. It's been too long.
it's one of those deals that our permit area isn't what we would choose if we could hand pick our area,
Yeah.
but for what we need to be able to offer the clinics that we want to do and the Avi courses that we want to do, it's just perfect for it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if it had a little bit bigger. It'd be cool if it had a couple more access points. There's a couple of downsides here and there, but overall, man, it's just great. And then I was able to confirm that we're permitted to do avalanche courses, riding clinics, just straight up backcountry guiding.
Ooh,
So
okay.
it's an open permit,
Dang.
and that's that was super exciting. We got that confirmation a couple of weeks ago. So I mean, we're what are we? We're 5, 6 weeks into having
Yeah.
it,
Hmm.
and we've already taught a couple of rescue courses on it. We got a couple of level ones that we're hoping to still get this year.
Yeah.
Uh, if nobody probably knows, but I have a little something to do with the snow bike world. And so something that we're really pushing really hard on is, and we think we can get a course in time for this year, but do a snow bike specific motorized level one in our permit area this year is what we're working on.
Yeah. Snow bikers. I had a funny interaction with some snow bikers on Sunday. Actually,
Yeah.
they were bragging that no snowmobilers had followed them in their tracks. Now I was looking up the mountain at their tracks, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like nobody wants to follow you across that massive avalanche slope you guys cut right there, and the other one over here that you cut." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "All these guys are following your tracks up." I'm like, "All these guys are my students. Like they're here at an avalanche course right now learning." And they're like, "Oh, like this is avalanche terrain?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
you're,
Yeah,
you're like,
this is looking at
you're
your
like,
tracks right there
yeah.
and right here, like both zones. You rolled right, like the whole crew. There was, man, there had to be eight, nine of them. Um,
And you're just
and then I,
like, as a matter of fact, yes, it is avalanche terrain.
and then I think I made them all mad because I was like, so who here has a mountaintop kit? And one guy was like, I got a mountaintop. I'm like, oh, so you're smoking the rest of these guys, huh? They
Yeah.
they were not
Uh,
stoked. They're like, no, these timber sleds get around just fine. I'm like, dude, I'm just razzing you guys. Like, it's all good. Go have
although it's
fun.
funny the way that they phrase that, it's like they get around just fine.
Yeah, exactly,
It's like
exactly.
it's like I can get there. It's not as fun. Can't do it as easy, but I can get there.
Yeah. Every
Obviously,
year I'm
you know
like, I'm
I'm
buying a snow
partial to a
bike.
mountaintop kit. Yeah.
It's true. That's why I root for Mountaintop is because of you. I've never ridden
Well, thanks,
one.
man.
Um, but I do ask all the snow bikers their feedback because I'm just genuinely interested every year. I think I get closer to building a snow bike. Um, I think this was the first year where I'm like, oh, I'm going to build a snow bike, which means I'll probably build one next year. Uh, but the general consensus of what I have heard is that 25 mountaintop kit literally smokes everything on the mountain. It is the kit. So I've heard. It's
Not
my
to be
survey.
biased, but I hear the same thing, and
Yeah.
I sandbag people. Like when I start talking to them about mountain bike, they don't know me from Adam. They might know me from the Boondockers days, but they don't know me
Yeah.
currently or anything like that. And so I get their opinion about what's going on before they say anything about. And so my point is, I'm going in circles. I apologize. My point is, they tell me their opinion before they know any of my affiliations. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's pretty legit.
Yeah. No, I mean I've asked a lot of guys that this year. So
Well, and
doing
we're really
something
excited.
right.
We're working with Alan. We're working with Alan on that to do the snow bike specific course,
Yeah.
and with Alan's help, we're going to put that on. So it's not going to be like Mountaintop sponsored or anything like that because that's not what Alan's about. That's not what we're about. We're not about this elitism and this inclusion or excluding other
No,
people.
it's the community of snow
Yeah,
biking. It is different than snowmobiling. It's kind of a different sport. Sorry.
it is.
And
It's almost as much of a difference between terrain usage that skiers versus snowmobilers have. It's almost that drastic.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And
Just the more I watch them and see how they ride, I'm like, it's not snowmobiling. It's just not.
it's it's not. And we've gotten to the point where people are starting to evolve to realize that you can't compare the two.
Yeah. There is
Um,
one thing though for sure. They do find themselves in steeper terrain a lot more often than snowmobilers. Um, and
because of the ease of access.
that's the other thing I ask snow bikers a lot. I ask them two things: what kit they're riding, and what sort of avalanche training they have. And again, the general consensus between these questions is, well, I ride snow bikes, so we're not riding the stuff that snowmobilers are and getting in avalanches. And I'm like, have you guys ever looked at snow bike fatalities and seen how deep in the snow they like they're ugh, you know?
Well, in until recently, I don't know how it's happened, but no snow biker has been in a fatality that I know of until all of a sudden, boom, this year, couple
Yeah, we
right off
had
the bat, and now we've got two or three uh, caught and carried, but not buried.
yeah,
And so now all of a sudden the snow bikers, and this isn't all snow bikers, so obviously nobody beat us up on this. It's like
yeah.
this is all just generalities. Like we're really not trying to like pigeonhole anybody into anything,
Well, and I
but
think
just our
the data is
experiences.
new, right? There's
Yeah,
not a
but
long-standing
that's what I'm
data.
talking about,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm talking about is like until this year, no snow biker has been reported to be in an accident or a fatality or anything like that, and all of a sudden just boom right off the bat. And really it's not about like, oh, you guys have been wrong. It has nothing to do with that. It's not how I feel. It's just it's putting it on the radar that, oh, we are susceptible to avalanche.
Yeah.
Like we do have
Yeah.
to worry about avalanches. It's like, oh, we're in the backcountry too. Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about Alan is like Alan was really excited, uh, as much as Alan gets excited about stuff, but Alan was pretty excited to help support us in our company Stable Mountain since we're right next to each other. It's kind of going
Yeah.
to be teaming up and having access to bikes and like getting people out on the snow and Alan's wanting to be a part of it because he sees the avalanche education that's needed, and he's seen while he's out riding, he sees tracks and stuff
Yeah.
like that using the terrain, like you and I are talking about. That it's like that's avalanche, that's running through a start zone, that's right in an avalanche path, and in those train traps. And Alan's starting to realize it himself, and so he's starting to get a little hungry for some avalanche education.
Yeah.
And
It's
ultimately Alan's just really good at it. The industry needs it, and so I'm willing to help because the industry needs it.
yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, that's what it's going to take though. It's going to take a little push from manufacturers. I think that's something that like on the dealer side of things could be better. Like when someone comes in to buy snowmobile or snow bike, pushing them, saying, "Hey guys, like you really should, get some avalanche education. Here's where you can do it." Just because, we are seeing more and more people in the backcountry,
Yeah.
but
And with the deals that are going on, a lot of people are buying new machines that haven't been able to otherwise afford new machines lately. I've ran into a couple on Hill. It's like, oh, sweet, I got this new machine. It's crazy where these will go. What would you come off of? I was in a 2011 Pro, and now they're on a 24
yeah,
51, 55 chaos, and it's nuts the difference. And so people are getting more access than what they have been in the past.
yeah,
And I think just generally we're trying to get that paradigm shift in the mentality of snowmobilers. That's one thing that the skiers and boarders do well is that they understand and just automatically associate a sport or a hobby or a skill that they're unfamiliar with. They just automatically associate it with, I need to go learn how to do this, and I need to go listen to professionals, and I need to go do all that stuff. And snowmobilers, we're more blue collar, we're construction workers, we're farmers and stuff like that. We do this in our spare time, and it's missed it's always just kind of had this like hobby feel to it, and people are starting to change. Like that perspective is starting to change. That it's turning into a like this is a hobby, but there's more to it than that. Like this is more
yeah,
serious than that. This isn't just taking a lap around the block on my street bike. It's like I need to like actually road, bicycle, my road
yeah,
bicycle. It's not just go get a couple of tights and go do a couple hot laps on your road bike. It's like you need to learn how to ride the machine. You need to learn how to read backcountry and terrain and use it appropriately.
yeah. What even is avalanche terrain? A lot of people don't even know. I had some
It's
good. I
really
actually
easy.
taught an Area 1 this last weekend, and I
How
had
did that
some
go, by the way? I haven't talked to you about that
good.
yet.
It went really well. They had great questions. They pointed at some terrain. They're like, DJ, I want to ride up this. Could I do it? And I'm like, well, what's the
You
logic
tell
in your
me.
head? Why would you want to ride up that? Like, what do you think about that terrain? And a good conversation developed about it, and ultimately, um, I think they understood that, like, you know, that's avalanche terrain. And with the problem we had on that day, not a good idea, but it's not out of the question on a different day. So,
100%.
trying to get riders to realize that, like, look, we are not the fun police as avalanche instructors. We're not here trying to say,
No,
you cannot
but
ride
you
on
just hit
any
that on the
slope
head.
ever again. Yeah,
But you just hit the nail on the head. I feel like as an overarching census feel that everybody's gotten from avalanche education, it's got that negative, fearful,
yeah,
I didn't know what I didn't know. Now I can't go snowmobiling at all. And that's one thing that I've really liked teaching with you, and something that we really try to do in our courses is like, no, this isn't putting handcuffs on you. This isn't the fun police, like you said.
yeah.
This is
This
like,
is let's understand this. Like, let's understand let's learn how to read a forecast and learn about aspects and
yes,
learn
that's
about
huge.
where we find this stuff.
And that's something that's really interesting. And anybody that's listening, I kind of challenge them to go do any avalanche fatality that you know of or can go look up. You can go to the National Avalanche Center, uh, uh, avalanche.org, go to their website, and you can start looking up all the fatalities that you would ever want. You can just pull up a map and just start clicking on the heat spots of fatalities. Go pull up a fatality, then go pull up the avalanche report that's archived for that day, and then look at all the avalanche problem type, look at how likely it was, and look at the consequence of it, and doing all of those things, and then you will be blown away. It blew me away. Everyone that you go to, almost without exception, it's like, oh, where was the fatality? What type of avalanche was it? Was this type of avalanche that was in the forecast? Where was it? Oh, is it this elevation? Oh, what elevation did the forecast say? That
Yeah,
elevation. What aspect did the fatality? So he got buried on a west fatality. Oh, sure enough, on the forecast it said west slopes. And you go match that up, and all of a sudden you start realizing that a forecast is telling you where the avalanche problem is. And so it
Yeah.
makes it really easy to, like, when I'm going into the backcountry, that I know this avalanche problem exists here and here and here and here, and this is how likely it is, and this is how consequential it is. And now you know everything you need to know about the risks that you're taking. And so if it's like, if I'm going to look for an avalanche, like I'm going to cause an avalanche today, the avalanche report's going to give you the prime spot to go cause that avalanche. So then the opposite's true. If you don't want to be in an avalanche, then you don't go ride those slopes. And it just makes it so liberating and easy.
I have learned here in Utah that we have some guys who are I want your thoughts on this one, Aaron. We have some
Okay.
guys up in Snake Creek area. They go up there and they purposely cause avalanches because they're doing the public a service. So, what are your thoughts on these guys?
Well, initially, I think their heart's in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I think
You
that
know,
that is a good initiative. Like, good
it's like,
on
it's
you.
just mitigation. Yeah, it's no different than like ITD and UDOT
Hmm.
and YDOT and all those guys are doing. They're like, oh, hey, before it buries somebody, we'll go trigger it so that
Yeah.
we can control it. That would be where my rub is at. That's my thoughts, is that's all fine and dandy and it sounds noble enough, but how is the application of it? How is the practice of it? Do they have people at the bottom that are in islands of safety, like not making sure anybody's coming through, and they're like radioing each other to be like, hey, it's good to go? And are they roped off so that they don't get caught themselves? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can hear it, like my brain's starting to race with a gazillion questions of like,
I
how are you on
honestly
this
I
noble
want to meet
pursuit?
these guys. Like I really want to meet one of these guys. If you know if one of you guys in Utah knows one of these guys, I think they're guys that live in Midway that do this stuff. Would you please introduce me to one? I have so many questions. Um, I'm not trying to tell them they're wrong because I like you said, I think their heart is in the right place. They're
Yeah,
being noble about it. But I really want to know the thought process behind it and like how they do it. Like I
yeah.
just dude, some of that
Like, what
terrain is
safety
huge. The
precautions are they
terrain,
taking? What access?
yeah, because it's like
Well, and
massive terrain
it's
back there. Like, I
well, and they
mean,
can't get mad at us for questioning it because,
no,
well, if you were the UDOT doing mitigation, would we question it?
no,
No, we
we
wouldn't
wouldn't.
question it because you're UDOT. You're trained. That's your job. That's what you've been doing your whole life,
Yeah,
is your whole professional life. But if I don't know you, I'm immediately like, I'm like, I
I
immediately
just
uh,
I want to know. I want to know
disbelieve.
this guy.
Yeah, I immediately suspect. I immediately suspect a lack of education.
Yeah, same with me. I just suspect the same thing. It's one of those things where I think at some point you're too comfortable in that type of terrain.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Well,
That's why I'd love to meet one of
but
these
that's the
folk
thing. Once we
and
talk to
talk.
them, once we ask
Hmm.
them questions and get a feel for them, because like if I go talk to them and they have like an understanding of avalanches, like Craig Gordon or like
Yeah,
Mark Staples or Frank Harris or some of these people that I trust,
yeah,
that we currently trust. Like nobody realizes it, but people are writing forecasts. Those are the people that I named are the people writing forecasts. And so if I go talk to these guys and they can establish some confidence in their understanding of everything to a level of an executive director of an avalanche center or a ski operation, then then I'm like, all right, good on you, man. Noble
yeah.
effort.
That would be cool.
Like maybe you start a
It'd be
Facebook page,
interesting.
maybe you start, because like Wyoming, like I'm subscribed to all of those guys, and so when they go do mitigation, like days in advance, they're like, hey, this is getting really bad. We're gonna be doing some mitigation, and then you get a 24-hour notice. Are those guys doing that? Are those guys putting out bulletins? They have a page that they can go look at, and then now that they're doing that, like, what kind of liability Are they okay
Yeah.
with? Where
Yeah, it's
people
pretty
are
wild.
like, oh, they mitigate, they set off avalanches. I'm good to go, and then somebody gets buried up there on a spot that they didn't set off, or they
Yeah.
set off part of it and it didn't propagate all the way across, and so now you've got some hang fire left that goes without them knowing about it and catches, carries, and kills somebody. It's like, do you want that on? Like, some's
It
better than
is.
none, but is it?
It kind of it's yeah, it really is. I guess in these really popular riding spots, it is something to think about with like all the user groups. My day to day is I want to get away from everybody else, which is getting harder and harder to do
Yeah, it is.
anymore, But the amount of users in one area in the Wasatch on a POW day is absolutely insane. There's just snowmobile crew here, 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 and it's dude, it's wild.
Well, look at the parking lot, dude. You
Yeah,
go to any parking lot in Utah on a good snow day, and it is bonkers.
yeah, it really is. Yeah,
Noblets, Wolf Creek, Mirror Lake. I mean, all of the ones that have the goods are just to the gills.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was
It's
bad when I
interesting.
was living down there.
It's just got exponentially worse, and now we have I don't even want to get into it, but
Makes you so sad, huh?
it's just it's a different game now. Now I'm like, people like, dude, that video you posted, I want to go ride stuff like that, and I'm like, look, that's a giant terrain trap. Somebody will go into one of those on the wrong day and get killed. Um,
Yeah.
it's look
Well,
like,
look at what happened up at Black's Canyon.
yeah,
There's a couple of guys posting videos and dropping tracks about how to get in there and stuff like that. Nobody's taking any thought at all of like, yeah,
yeah,
I can give this guy the track there, but does he know what to do with it? Does he know how to be safe? No, like 9 times out of 10, they don't know how to be safe.
no,
And that's coming from like, they have to understand that I was that guy 10 years ago. I was the guy that didn't know what I didn't know. And
yeah,
so I would drop into Black's Canyon and I would just shred it and tear it up and have a great time. And were there days that I was good or lucky? I wasn't good, but I got lucky, and that's how we
yeah,
measure a lot now. It's like, were we good or were we lucky? And it's like in those days in blacks, on those really deep days, the days that we want, we got lucky because we didn't know any better.
yeah,
And
yeah. I would say a lot of my riding is luck. It's been luck that I didn't get an avalanche. It hasn't been that I was good.
yeah, but now we're getting there. We're not perfect yet. We're making mistakes.
Well, that's the
Uh,
nice thing is like now that I really, really understand the avalanche forecast and what's going on behind it,
yeah, 100%.
now I can plan my routes out a little better. Now I can say, oh, today is actually the day I can go ride that. Like I got my plan for the day. I know where I'm going because it's safe to finally drop into that ravine and I'm not gonna cause an avalanche in the ravine and get buried under 15 feet of snow, you know?
Yeah.
So that's
Well, and it's
another
cool
thing.
that I really like that you're so passionate about avalanche education. That's something that I just feel really passionate about. And I'm glad Ryan
Yeah.
and Drew and Randy, because Stable Mountain, we do education up here, and we've brought along instructors with us. And so I don't know all the other operations, but the operations that I know of, we're probably the most stacked with instructors. There's me and Ryan that are course leads, and then Randy and
Yeah.
Drew are instructors, and then we have you added to us, and so you're a course lead. So in the Stable Mountain stable, we've got 3 course leads and 2 instructors. We can do some big classes, and we can handle
We're
some.
like we're like a doctors group, you know?
We
Like in
are,
our
yeah,
in our network, in our group, we have tons of, really rad instructors. It's cool because we're also like hardcore snowmobilers. Like we love snowmobiling and we love giving people the education. So it's like it's this hand in hand thing, you know?
yeah. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Well, and we're sure not doing it for the money. That's for sure.
No, no.
we're doing it because we love it, and we do. Honestly, we love it. Like, I
Yeah.
love to see the light bulbs and like pass this information on. You asked a question earlier about what is avalanche terrain,
Hmm.
And it's really nice to talk to people about how simple it is. Avalanche terrain is 30 to 45-degree slopes. Like,
Yeah.
boom, that's it. Now, there's some logic and common sense to go along with that. On a high or an extreme day, do you think I'm going to be flirting with 29-degree slopes? Like, oh, it's 29
No,
degrees. It's not
no.
30. I'm good. No,
It's,
right? It's just logic and
dude,
common
that's what
sense.
skiers do, man. Skiers are crazy.
And
No, I
so,
think for me,
you
it's
know,
the rescue portion of things. I love watching people like do the rescue scenario, and I'm like, all right, where do we mess up? And
totally fail.
they just start listing off things, and I'm like, uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh, uh-huh, yeah, yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
agreed.
Yeah, you guys suck. No, just kidding. No, no. It's good, because they do. They realize like, holy crap, I need to practice. Like this this is a mock rescue, and I'm like freaking out. Like, what happens when the real thing
Right.
goes down? And I mean,
But
plan A
that's the
is
reality
not
of it.
get in an
That's it.
avalanche, but plan B is be dang good with your rescue tools. So
Well, and that's what I like about you and teaching with you. I like about the curriculum and the way that we present the curriculum that we do through ARI. Like, we're an ARI provider, and so we use ARI curriculum, but then we take it and apply it. We shift it around and present it in a different order if needs be, or we
yeah,
tweak the verbiage to snowmobilers as we can, and we can do that because we have the experience in snowmobiling that we do,
yeah,
and that makes it a very tailored experience, and we can say it in a way that doesn't get said very often, and that what you're talking about is one of those examples of us being able to take it and twist it. So it's like, we're not trying to fearmonger you, we're trying to set you free. Like, understand the terrain and
yeah,
understand the forecast, and like use these tools together, and don't get in an avalanche in the first place, is what we really try to push through level ones and level twos. And I'm with you. The rescue is a really awesome opportunity to get good at using those things, which they should. And so it's funny, we had a group, just talking what you were talking about, and kind of to prove my point. The guy was like, initially, I'm like, oh, let's talk about the things we could do better. And he's like, well, we suck. And I'm like, well, the good news is
the best thing
you
about an
can get
avalanche
better.
course, though. Yeah, that's probably the number one thing I think. I think that's the takeaway that most people have is like, whoa, I'm not prepared at all. You know, it's just like a big wake up call for them. And I try and leave it with like, look, it's just you don't know. You haven't known what you didn't know. The unknown unknowns, right? Now we know a little bit, so we can expand on that. Now we know we need to practice. Now we need to know we need to do departure checks and talk about where we're riding today. You know, it's good. Like I think it helps. I know it helps snowmobilers,
It does.
you know.
It
And they
does a
go and they
lot,
tell
dude.
their friends, man. I love the stories after. Like, dude, I called all my buddies and I told them. Um, I love it because that's what we need. We need you guys out there pushing it because
Oh, that was something I
it
was going to
does,
ask
man.
you.
Like, you have value, I have value. Everybody in this industry riding around on snowmobiles, you guys are valuable in this world, and you don't want to get taken by some dumb thing. You don't want to be taken because you forgot to turn on your transceiver, or you forgot to put batteries in it, or you didn't bring a probe. Um,
Or
but
you
most
just had to
important,
hit that open face.
yeah, you just had to hit that open
Just
face on
all
a
just
day
that,
that.
like, you had such a great day all
Mhm.
day, and then on the way out, you're like, oh, I'm going to hit this one last face, and you let your guard down.
Yep. The Avalanche report said this, but I'm going to do the opposite of this.
Yeah,
Happens. So,
it does.
well, snowmobile season's coming to an end. You got more courses?
Yes, we're hoping. We had a course that we were working out with Canyon Adventures up in Big Sky,
Oh,
and
sick.
so we're hoping that that comes together in
Hmm.
time. But right now, just with the season winding down, there is a chance we might have to postpone that to next year. So that's going to be
Yeah.
a little bit of a bummer, Because one that we've been working on for a couple of years was McCall, and that one went great. We had a great turnout in McCall, and everybody really liked it. You know, kind of some of the stories you're talking about with people telling all of their friends.
Yeah.
They're taking it for what it is, and not only they're telling their friends, they're like, "Hey, if you don't go get a rescue in a level 1, you can't ride with us because it doesn't do me any good. Me knowing this stuff doesn't dig me out.
Yeah.
You have to know this to dig me out. And so you, in order to ride with me, you have to go learn how to rescue me. You have to go learn how to not initiate
Yeah.
avalanches above me or near me and terrain with trigger points and terrain traps. You need to go learn this stuff so that you're not putting me in danger. And that's really cool. And at first, I kind of was like, don't make it this negative thing, and like, don't put that kind of like weight on it. But the more that I've thought about it, the more that we've taught, I'm like, why not? Like, isn't that the reality of it?
Yeah. It is the reality of it. Because here's the deal. If you
Like,
don't
what
do
good is
it,
it for you to go ride with me if you can't save me?
dude, you know what? I tell people this all the time. The most bummer part about instructing these courses is when you don't come get the education and then you guys get into an accident, you have a fatality, and then you come, you sit in the course and you learn that what happened. Like when we break, because everybody always asks, well, can you break down the report and what happened to our brother or our friend? And we look into it and we're like, yeah, this was the mistake that was made, and this is where in the avalanche report it said to not be on this terrain. And then they're like, shit, like that was the
Yeah, I was
that
right
was
there
the
in front of
dumbest
me,
thing.
telling me
That's
not
the
where
dumbest
not
thing.
to
It's like
go.
it's so sad to see the look on their face of just like there's so much regret of like not learning this sooner, and it's a bummer, man. Like s- it's the dumbest thing, you guys, that you have to use death as a reason to come to class. I don't know. Sucks,
It
you
is.
know?
It does suck. And the more that we can change avalanche education, like that's still all real, and that
Yeah.
needs to be a part of. You need to understand the why behind it. But the other part to it is it's fun. We're snowmobiling. We're talking about snowmobiling. And
Yeah, we're having
and
fun. We're ripping
people don't,
around, we're talking.
yeah. And people don't realize, like, when we start talking about terrain, you start understanding things about terrain that you didn't know before. And
Yeah.
now you can understand how to use that goalie to get up to that draw, to get up to that ridge, to get up to that saddle, to drop into the zone you want to get into. And you know how to do it safely. And like, we're actually indirectly, you're learning how to ride better. You're learning how to get through terrain better, easier, and understanding it. And
Yeah.
you don't realize it until you go do it. And you're like, oh, I understand how dropping off the ridge right here, like even on a high avalanche danger day, I can drop off the ridge right here and drop off and go over there and be okay on an avalanche danger day.
Yeah.
I just can't drop off and do a side hill cut. And then you get everybody in the crew that can do that, and nobody's side hill cutting over another guy and putting somebody stuck on a slope that, like, it's just, man, it's so liberating. The
Yeah.
education just frees you up and teaches you stuff that you didn't know you could have. And we have a lot of people taking that away about terrain identification. That's something we really focus on, and
Yeah, train ID
it
is, I
just
think, the most
improves
important
everything
thing. Train ID is
because
very,
that's
very
the
important.
key. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you're out in a field and it collapses on, and the snowpack collapses on you, you already know you got an unstable snowpack. You're already there. You're the trigger, and you're on
Yep.
a field. What do you care that it avalanches? Well, you don't care because you're not an avalanche terrain. It's not steep enough to slide. So fields can collapse all day long. Who cares?
Yeah, you're like, as snowmobilers, we're riding around. A lot of times we'll forget what aspect we're on because there's a north facing, a south facing, like so many aspects you're looking at in one area, and you're having to like analyze this as you're riding versus walking up on your skis and looking at it all day, before you make your run. So
Yeah,
terrain ID is probably the thing that I think is one of the most important things you need to learn, aside from a departure check.
it's the important thing, and then being able to calibrate your mind to I recognize it. Like
Mhm.
you need to be within a couple of degrees of what that slope is to actually use it to your advantage. If
Yeah.
you're looking at slope and you're like, oh, that's 20 to 35 degrees, you need to do a better job
So
of
let me
figuring
ask
that
you
out.
this. Let me ask you this. Um, if some people want in Southeast Idaho some avalanche education before the end of the year, can they get it with
Yeah,
you
they can.
guys?
Yeah, we're ready to go. They can give us a shout. We don't have any scheduled like openings right now just because of
Yeah.
the time of year. We had courses set and we've ran all those courses, so now we don't have any more courses for the year set, but we're still 100% open for business. People can reach out to us, so we're serving uh, Southeast Idaho, so Idaho Falls, Rexburg, Rigby, Blackfoot, Pocatello, all the way down to Preston. They can come up. Idaho Falls is super cheap to stay in. We've got 40 or 50 bars. We've got 60 hotels. We've got movie theaters, bowling alleys, golf
Yep.
courses, mini golf.
It's like a mini
Just
Utah, you guys. It's a mini Utah.
yeah, we got jump houses. We got paintball. We got did I say bowling? I think I said bowling
See,
already. But
he loves
you can
bowling.
come
Aaron clearly loves
and
bowling.
it's and it's pretty inexpensive compared to like Island Park, West Yellowstone, and all those kind of places. The
Yeah.
hotels are really great, but if you really wanted to and you got a crew, we have a lot of vacation rentals around here, and so a lot of guys will come in. They'll have the 6 to 10 of them. They'll all stay in a vacation rental near our zone, and so we just tell them the time. So it's like anywhere from Idaho Falls to our zone is like 45-minute drive.
Yeah. So,
Pretty easy.
how late in the winter can you go?
For us,
Like my permit
we've been talking
is,
about that.
yeah, like I have a new permit. I have like
Well,
a year long permit,
well,
but
and that's something that's interesting because as far as our permit goes, I believe. Oh shoot, I should know that off the top of my head. I need to go double check. My memory's telling me March, April.
I mean, usually it's like end of April,
I
but
think it's like
like
I
for
want to say it
me,
was the end of April.
I think this could be the last week that I am in the snow business. I think after this, we move to too
Well,
much
see,
dirt bike stuff. I have so much dirt bike
for
stuff
you,
coming up,
yeah. See, I can't
you
do dirt
know.
bike stuff till June. I can work like
I have I
once once spring comes back, then
yeah,
all my ISTA, all of my Idaho single track stuff is going to ramp up, and we're going to get to clearing trails and whatnot. Uh, but in the meantime, I can't do guided tours until June. And so for me, with the way winter sticks around up here, I'll be able to teach into April. The caveat though that I'm hoping that people will reach out to me and talk about, as long as the snowpack is good and I can use the snowpack to teach you what's going on,
yeah.
then we're going to keep having courses. But what happens to the snow, everybody, is as the sun bakes it and as the temperatures don't get back into freezing, everything, all the snow crystals start to melt and round and they start to collapse and condense. And then water percolates through and then water melts and like helps pull that all in and open that cavity all up. And it
And they have wet
changes the snow
slides.
structure and they have wet slides. But the problem is that it changes the structure of the snow so drastically that it's unrecognizable as far as layers go. And so going too late in the season is a disservice for you because
Yeah.
I can't show you and demonstrate that. And so there'd be a whole quarter of the class that I want to be able to teach, show, and then demonstrate, and then have you practice with it because that structure just isn't there. And so people reaching out, like once we get to that point, I'll be honest and open about that. Like we're not
Yeah.
going to have you book a
So I
course
said
to
as
give you
long as
a substandard course.
yeah, throughout April, I'm going to operate during weekdays if you truly want it, but I've actually switched over to the Mountain Slayers website today to dirt. Um, we are open for dirt business right now.
Well,
Motorcycle
and
tours are a go. We have a bunch booked. We have a bunch of motorcycle things going on. Dirt bike racing this weekend, and then we have the dirt bike rally, the Green River Dirt Bike Rally coming up.
yeah, it's
Aaron's
only
gonna be there
like 3 weeks
guiding.
away.
Yeah, Aaron will be
Yeah,
there guiding.
DJ's
I'll be there
guiding, I'm
guiding.
guiding, Weldon's guiding.
Yeah, we have a lot of us down there helping out with that. And then after that, it's like just, I mean, I do have a ton of motorcycle tours in the pipe right now. And then we're introducing, I'll just come out and say it. We signed a deal with Yamaha, pretty rad. Um, but we'll have,
Did you see that there's people making heads for Yamaha YZ250s specifically for Cody Webb?
oh yeah, dude, Cody Webb is like, he like inspired the whole industry to like evolve into new enduro technologies. I love it. There's everyone's calling me like, bro, are you gonna like do this and this and this and this and this and this to your bikes? You know, you got to put a different cam in it. You got to do this. It's cool. There's like a lot going on with that, and I think we're probably just gonna see a whole new Yamaha enduro bike in the next little bit. Would be my
Probably a year or
guess.
two. It's probably all
Yeah.
it's going to be. I bet you they release something this year after Cody has a chance to run it through the season.
But the biggest thing that I've got going on this season is we're introducing adventure bike tours. This is something that I've always joked to my buddies about. I'm like, yeah, when I'm 60, I'll hop on an adventure bike. I'm 41. We're doing it.
Doing it.
But we're gonna
Well,
use
why not, dude? There's so much fun. Like, look at the
yeah,
terrain that you cover. Look at the distance you can go.
Utah's one of the best places in the world you could ride dirt bikes or ADV bikes. So we'll have enduro things going on still. Last last fall, I introduced a hard enduro tour for those that want a serious challenge. This year, it's the ADV stuff. But yeah, we'll have it all this year. It's going to be pretty cool. It's a lot of new experiences, even some new side by side experiences happening in St. George. But it's
That's
I'm open
exciting,
for
man.
dirt.
That's really great.
I'm moving over to dirt right now because I'm just winter is it has broken my heart all year long. But we had some good days. I just got a comment. Mount Sarah crew put on an outstanding Area 1 this weekend. If you love your crew, you got to do it. Thanks, DJ. Thank you, Russ, and your boys. Um, man, they were a great crew. We had a lot of fun on the mountain. But yeah, I think winter is it's about up for me, man.
Well, I don't blame you.
So
Well, as far as like we're going, we're probably like there's a chance. I just got a call from a couple of people today wanting to race some sleds this week, and we might let them go out because of all the new snow that's come.
yeah,
But after this week, pretty sure we're going to shut that down and start selling sleds
yeah.
because that's where we're at too. Like we need a bit of time to get everything shifted over and switched out. We got all of our fleet sold last year, and so we need some time to get the fleet bought and get the fleet built. We might be
Well,
doing a couple of
I
different
have
things here and there.
I have somebody that you need to talk to.
Yeah, you do. I'm waiting, anxiously waiting.
Let's do that tomorrow. But
Okay, perfect, man.
um one other thing I would love for us to do one of our slaycations up with the Stable Mountain crew in Idaho this year, this
Yeah.
summer. Um so hopefully we can put that together here in the next
Well,
little
I think the
bit.
part that we messed up last year is we waited too long to try to schedule it, and then we couldn't line anything up. And then
Yeah.
the way that the winter came in weird because the year before we had a staycation pretty late in the year, and it worked out absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was great. It
This
was
time,
perfect.
if we did if we did the staycation on the same weekend this last season, we wouldn't have been able to do it. It was
We would have been
awful.
snowmobiling.
Yeah, yeah, we would have been, or we would have had to go to St. George or Moab or
Yeah.
Green River or something like that. And so
But
that's what we got
there's
going on. You got a race this weekend. So the race this weekend, is that the one that you sent me the link to?
yeah, I sent you the link to it. It's the Knowles Sprint Enduro. Dude,
I
it's
don't think
like
I realized what was going on, and then I was busy enough that I didn't even see it. And then I'm glad that you texted like, hey, at this time we're gonna go sign up with or without you. I mean, that was
Yeah.
smart. I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket, but
There should be a meeting in your calendar too soon for a little Idaho City 100
yeah, Idaho City
action
100, buddy.
because we're going to do that
I'm
again.
a little nervous about that one. Yeah, we're
Also,
doing that again. I'm
I
gonna try to talk a
definitely,
couple of my other homies into doing it.
yeah, I definitely want you to come do a couple staycations with us too, help guide some of that stuff with us. So,
Well, we need to pick a couple of dates that you can come up and help me, and I can come and help you.
yeah,
This year, something that we did last year that was really, really awesome. We discounted our rates drastically and did a dirt bike rally. And so we did a little
yeah, that was
goodie
cool. You guys
bag.
did a dirt bike
We
rally, yeah,
broke out. Yeah, it was really fun. We're hoping to have a couple of those this year, is what the goal
yeah,
is. And so we're going to hopefully, like June, we want to do one in June to kick things off, do one in July, and then one in August. And to be honest with you, we might skip July just because of how busy July is, but then do like August, September.
yeah,
The what we're nervous about though, we're nervous how busy July is. We're nervous about hot and dry August gets. And so
yeah,
those ones, I'm not 100% sure. We're not like completely locked in on weekends or anything like that then. But the June, we're about locked in. September, we're about locked in. And just give people a really inexpensive opportunity to like get out and learn the mountains, learn their route.
yeah.
And then I'm a certified OHV instructor for Idaho Parks and Rec. And so we'll be doing some courses this year for
Does
that.
that mean you write registration tickets now?
I wish. This means that 16 and younger, you can have an OHV operator's permit.
Oh,
So
they
if you
just
come and
changed
finish
the
this
law,
course with me,
and so I've been able to,
no, they're
if
just
like,
enforcing the law now.
well, in Utah, they just changed the law. So
Oh,
before, me as a guide, an outfitter, a licensed outfitter, I could take um, people under the age of 18 riding, and they didn't have to go through Utah's OHV um, program and get an OHV license if you're between the age of like 8 and 18 or something. Now they're making it so you have to. So and it's I think it's completely BS, by the way, because a lot of these guys coming out and riding with me, these kids, it's like a bucket list item for them. They're gonna ride dirt bikes one time in their life. Why do they need to go through Utah's whole program when I'm gonna
yeah, the
be
whole rigmarole.
liable for them? I'm gonna be showing them the way. I'm gonna teach them trail etiquette and everything they need to know. Like that's something that we teach anyway. But I just think it's BS. It's another thing. I don't know. Utah's starting to overstep in a couple areas, I think, on some OHV laws. But that's another topic. I should invite a DNR officer on here
Yeah.
and just give it
Oh,
to him.
totally. Well, and the way you got this set up is we could have like this whole round robin conversation. I bet you Colby
Yeah,
would want to do that. Oh, we should get Frank from BTAC and Mark from Gallatin, and then we could
yeah.
get who's the UAC now? Oh, Stephanie, no, no. Who's the ED for Utah?
I don't. There's a lot of people in Utah. I I talked to most of the regional forecasters, Brett Kobernick, Craig Gordon. Um, I talked to Joey Manship a lot because he's like the new motorized coordinator for the UAC. I talked to Paige a little bit, because she's up in,
Paige. Yeah, she's the
yeah,
ED. Yeah, so you get Paige, Mark, Frank, get a little round robin going,
yeah.
talk a little bit about grants, and just I don't think people realize how much work they put into doing weather stations and keeping
No,
weather stations running and
it's
all
pretty
that stuff.
insane. Yeah,
And just the labor intensive job of forecasting and overseeing that, like making sure forecasters are covered and taken care of and that they're going out. Like today, like I feel really bad. Dave's on over at the Gallatin uh,
yeah,
because we went and rode Lion's Head. We got all the obs, dug some pits, got a few videos and stuff like that. And I talked him into hooking around the corner to Targhee Creek because Targhee Creek, you just bomb out and it drops us like right where the truck's at. right back to the parking lot is where it drops you out. So I'm like, hey,
Oh, you
let's
took a
make
shortcut.
this a loop. It wasn't really a shortcut. It was a loop. We were just finishing the loop. Well,
Okay.
the
Okay.
my kitty cat brakes. I got a brand new clutch on the kitty cat because the old clutch just had too many miles.
Who
Put a brand
assembled
new
that
kitty
clutch?
cat
Was
on
it
the
you
clutch.
that assembled that clutch?
No, Arctic did. And so on the
So,
spider is held on by six uh,
so
panhead
not
Allen
so
screws,
so could you
and
say
so they
that the
broke.
Arctic people like laying off all their folk? They did a disservice because now they got what the one guy left building all the clutches and he's building crap clutches.
Well, what probably happens is they let everybody go, and they told them on. And this is probably one of the ones that got built on the day that somebody was told that they didn't have a job at the end of the day,
Oh
and they
yeah.
tightened it because you look at it and all the bolts broke. There's six screws holding the spider onto the clutch,
Yeah.
and all five. When I noticed the problem, I should have noticed sooner. But when I got in there and actually looked at it, five of the six screws had broken,
Yeah.
holding the spider in place.
How many
And
Unga
so
Dungas did you got to put into one of those? Is it one,
I
two,
don't
three?
know. That's all put in by the factory. Like they don't. That's
Yeah.
not something you put in. All you do is just bolt it onto the snowmobile, and it's not the bolt that holds it on the snowmobile. It's the six bolts that hold the rotor. Well, anyway, so
I don't
I
ever have to
figured
work on
that
my
out.
snowmobile. I ride a ski-doo, so I just don't know. I don't know these things, Aaron.
Oh, do you really want to go there? Do we want to start that, buddy? Yeah,
You're the only
I'm
guy I
gonna
knew that
go.
worked on a ski-doo this year.
And I did. I did a good job. It took me a while to get a few things figured out, but I got it figured out.
You got it done. You got it
Uh,
done.
Clutch broke at like figured out that the clutch was broke around like two, a little bit before two, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. Well, I had the one screw that was holding it all together. I was able to limp it for another 4 or 5 miles before that screw gave. And so then we had to tow the sled the rest of the way out Tardy Creek.
Yeah.
And that proved to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it'd
But
be.
for the most part, we did it pretty good. Because of the time of year and because of the cat track being cut in place, we were able to use that and saved our bacon. And then Ryan's pretty good little pilot there and really good at getting on the boost and getting around corners and carrying
Yeah.
momentum that we were able to get out. We only had to reset like 3 times, I think, in the whole way out in the like six or
Hey,
seven
what
miles.
what Boondockers cover were you on? Is it 14?
I'm on
6?
or eight, 6 or 8. I don't know. I was tied with Smasher, and then he threw a bunch of money at those guys and got Boondocker 16 cover, and that put him. Did that put
Mm,
him ahead of me, or did that tie me? I
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember. I was gonna pull up an image of it and show everybody, but I don't remember which one you were on.
On Boondockers 5, I wasn't on 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. I think I was on 11, and then Ryan got it in 12, and then I was 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah, 14, right? That's like the big cliff drop.
Yeah, and then 15 was my drop in Stanley.
You could buy it on Amazon. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull
I
this
wonder how
up real
much
quick.
money.
I want to
I
pull
wonder how
this up
much
so everybody
money they're
can see
pulling in.
this. Like, who's the one selling these?
I think I haven't heard anything about the actual logistics of that for a couple of years now. Last
It,
time that I heard that Nick was kind of overseeing the
dude, look at that drop.
electronic side of it.
Dude, that drop's huge. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see that on your screen.
I don't get to see it. No, it's not showing me.
Oh man, it's huge, bro. It's
Are
huge.
you being facetious right now? Or
No,
you?
I'm being dead serious. I've On all the cliff drops I've ever seen in person, in the flesh, you've went the biggest. I'm just gonna
Yes.
say it. I'm just gonna say it. It's true. You've went the biggest. I've also seen the hardest crash in my life ever off of a cliff. You did that. You did
Yeah.
that as well. You
Yeah, I did do
and
that.
I was shocked because I thought you died because you fell flat on your face
I did. It pile drove me right into the ground.
and
Well, I came
and then you just
off
got
like
up and you just like looked at me and I was like, he's
I
alive.
was like
He's
I was like, what the
alive.
heck happened? I still don't understand what happened. The best that I can figure out is that I was so close to the tree well that when I gave it the gas, I think it just hit the air pocket in the tree well, and so it didn't
Yeah.
launch me. It just dropped me over the edge.
Yeah, it was sick though. But this is a sick movie cover. Big drop. So yeah, rad stuff.
Yeah, those were the good old days back when I was young and
Now we're old
spry
and
and
our backs hurt.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
That's
not to. This is pretty controversial, but I'm going to say it. I dare say that I'm pretty sure that I have the second biggest drop in the snowmobile industry.
yeah,
Pretty
for sure.
confident.
I
The
would say
drop
that.
in Colorado,
Yeah.
just the cliff face itself was 80-ish, 80 to 90, depending on how you measure it. And with me taking off, because the sun had baked all the
Yeah.
rocks at the top, and it wasn't just a rock shelf and then a drop. The rocks were 15 to 20 feet back. And so I had to build my lip 15 to 20 feet back from the edge of the cliff. And then I had to pop it with enough to
Yeah.
carry it. And the way that the slope was, like I don't think anybody realized. I didn't realize till I was doing it, but it was so steep that I had to use my snowmobile and my shoulder to stop my sled. And then that gave me,
He vanished. Where did he go? He probably died. Jack, have you guys experienced any of the impacts on the industry in guiding, or has the guiding been mostly unaffected by the power sports industry's shortcomings? Um, I would say that this season I definitely felt impacts. Two reasons. I don't know that they actually had anything to do with the industry shortcomings, though. This season, the two shortcomings we had were Park City had the ski patrol issue going down where ski patrol wasn't working. They're on strike until they could get a better pay, which they definitely deserve, especially with how much avalanche education costs and what it takes to keep up as an avalanche professional. But Park City Ski Resort was shut down to only 20%. Um, and so people just simply were like, you know what, I'm not even going to go to Utah. So we lost out huge because a great deal of my business in guiding actually comes from, tourism in the state of Utah. And when we don't get tourists, obviously I don't get bookings. I still had a lot of my regulars come though, and it was sad to say it was a pretty big year for deaths in the motorized industry. So I had a lot of avalanche business due to that. And then the other thing that sucked this year was our winter. Snowmobilers that are going to come out and ride with me, they are smart enough to be looking at the weather and timing this with that. And it wasn't until the last few weeks that winter really showed up. Um, like the snow is the best it's been probably in the last 2 weeks. I think there was one day about a month ago that was really deep. Other than that, it's been big storm comes in, we're like, yeah, we're stoked, and then it gets really hot immediately after, just like it did today. It was over 60 degrees in the valley. It just wrecks our snowpack every time it happens, and unfortunately, most snowmobilers are of the type where they are looking and seeking for those deep days, and we just haven't had them this year. So, oh, hold on, I think Aaron's back.
I am back. Sorry about that, buddy.
You're
I
good.
didn't
You're
realize my
good.
phone was about to die. But nobody wanted to hear me talk about that anymore. I don't think
Hold on
the
one
the
sec.
The main gist of the conversation was pretty sure I got the second biggest drop in the snowmobile industry. The only person that's really gone bigger than my Colorado drop is Dan Treadway.
Yeah,
That
that's
Massey
big.
drop that he did up in Canada was just ginormous. I
Yeah,
bet you the one that Dan, I bet you the one Treadway did up in Canada, I bet you he was close to 200, maybe a little bit over 200.
yeah. So while you were gone, I was answering a question. We got a question. And I'll ask this to you as well. I just kind of described my side of it, but have you guys experienced any of the impacts on the industry in guiding, or has the guiding been mostly unaffected by power sport industry shortcomings? Like the crap that's been going on with KTM, obviously Timbersled getting out of the game. Like, has that impacted you guys at all? I was telling them that I felt impacts, but not because of that. My impacts were Park City Ski Resort hosing everybody, like Vail Resorts hosing people, and people just not coming to Utah. And then, of course, just a crappy snow year.
Yeah, I'd say that we were feeling impacts for sure. Like you though, not in the way that you would think. It was basically stuff that was related to it.
Yeah.
Uh, like for us, just the economy in general really affects it. Like 2 years ago, people when they come out, they want to rent snowmobiles, and they were like, "Oh, we could have up to 8 people. We might be there for 5 days. We might be there for seven. We're not sure. Oh,
Hmm.
you know what? We only live once. Get get us all eight. We're gonna go all 7 days. No big deal." But now that's changed. It's like, oh, we might only have 5 people, so let's only get 5 sleds. We're gonna
Yeah.
be there for 8 days, but we might. I think we only want to ride for four,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. The
and so those are the kind of
economy.
changes that we've seen. It's just, to put it generally speaking, it's just frugality.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of frugality now that we didn't see a couple years ago.
Yep. No, it's true. Things have definitely changed a little bit, but we'll see where things are going to head next year with like this Canadian tariffs with Ski-Doo. I'm a little
Yeah,
worried. I know right now that Ski-Doo is going to eat that stuff, not raise the prices of their snowmobiles. Um, but how long
you
can
got
one,
Skidoo,
how
you
long
got
can a
Arctic
company do
Cat.
that though? Yeah, and the
Yeah,
Arctic thing, we need Arctic.
Arctic Cat Timber Sled. We do need Arctic
Yeah,
Cat.
it's a bummer about the timber sled thing, but look, man, if you don't innovate, your company will die.
Yeah.
Which may have been part of the Arctic Cat problem too, but who knows? I don't work there,
Well,
so
Arctic Cat just seems to like I'm just a fan of their stuff. Anybody who knows me knows that I like their stuff. I think it's just too little, too late. Really, it's in fact
yeah.
it's not even that. It's that people are looking at it as a business, and they're seeing how much money they put into the catalyst, and they're seeing how many units are being sold, and
Hmm.
then through that they're able to know that it's going to take us this long to get our money back. And you're asking us, it's going to take us 10 years or however long it is to get our money back, and we have to do this again in 3 years, so we're never going to make our money back. They're just like,
Yeah,
when it comes to just counting the beans, it's like you just can't make that work. It doesn't matter how you slice it.
yeah. Which could be a reason why they haven't found a buyer yet, right? I don't
Right.
know.
Well, and when you remember back to when Arctic got bought by Textron and the amount of debt that they had then, I'm going off of my memory, so hopefully nobody beats me up too much on details and stuff like that. I'm just talking about generalities, but with the amount of debt that they were buying, that was kind of, from my understanding, that was part of the agreement, that it wasn't
Yeah.
really, we're going to pay you a whole lot of money. It's more, we're going to assume the debt for you.
Speaking of companies with massive debt, KTM, this is one thing that I
Phew,
found really interesting. Yeah,
I can't believe they
what
had
was
that
it,
much debt.
$2.7 billion or something? I can't remember. I don't know what it
It
was,
was a
but
huge number. It was a
it
number
was
that I was like,
insane.
how in the world?
But I walked into the Edge the other day and I was thinking I could get some good deals on bikes. No, no good deals on bikes, man.
No.
There are tons of money right now. And the response was, yeah, KTM USA is doing just fine. And I'm like, ah, man, that I don't know. I don't know
You
that I
got me
believe that.
good, chicken.
I don't know if I believe that, you know?
It's just, and it's one of those that it's like, I don't blame you for not believing it because it's like the child is usually tied to the parent.
I mean, I think what it is like the dealers know that we're heading into dirt bike season, so of course they're not going to give you,
Right, which
they
is
need to
the way
make
to do
money.
it.
They're a
Yeah.
business, they need to make money. Like I understand that. Um, but I did find it interesting just with how many unsold units KTM actually has sitting in warehouses right now, over 300,000. Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
such a large number, DJ. That is a
it's
huge
insane.
number.
Dude, they like COVID, they're just like build, 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 and ugh, I don't know if that was a great idea, but either way, I'm going to Yamaha. I'm gonna be riding a Yamaha pretty soon, so Yamaha, it's
Maybe you're not the only one running.
nope,
Yamaha.
I
It's funny
probably
though.
not.
All the ISTA guys run Yamaha. Yamaha does a really really good job of helping the trail crew here in
Yeah,
Idaho. They have there's a lot of Yamahas that are out there that Yamaha's helped make a lot of things possible in Idaho. So that's really cool that Yamaha is so willing to help out and make bikes work for
yeah,
crews clearing trail and making things happen. So
yeah. That was
yeah, I'm
cool.
excited for you, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You got a lot of good stuff going on because you're at the grindstone, man. You're constantly working,
Yeah.
keeping at it. Good example.
Let's see here. Also, yeah, that's interesting perspective. I didn't even think about the Park City stuff affecting the snowmobile stuff, but it makes sense. What ways have you had to creatively pivot? Have you focused more on the education and avalanche side of things, or given you opportunities to focus on content more and grow your community? Yeah, this was a big year. I had a huge goal to be the number one area provider of motorized education. I don't know if I'm there. Um, There's a couple guys in the industry that crank out some courses, but man, I gave it a run for the money this year teaching. Um, and man, think I think I'm over 80 students currently, but I really focused on avalanche education this season. And yeah, the content thing has been pretty cool. There's actually my Instagram's gotten big enough where I am getting paid by um, some people to do videos and post videos, which has been pretty rad. So you see the Insta 360 stuff out there that I've been shooting a lot of Insta 360 footage, and um, there's some other things in the pipeline when it comes to that. Um, but I really love content creation. I used to work for the Nitro Circus many, 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 many years ago in my 20s, and that's what we did. We created motorcycle films, and dude, it was some of the best years of my life. And I have a blast creating content on my friends. My buddy Steve Martin, I love shooting him ride. Like, I wish Aaron was down here more and I could film him. Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to I'm also trying to get my e-commerce stuff going more. I sold a lot more parts on my website this year than ever before. I've always been a big believer though, like you need multiple streams of revenue inside of a business, not just one. Um, just because with guiding, you don't know. We never know what's going to happen with the power sports industry. There was a year, one of the big shifts for me going from Polaris to Ski-Doo was a simple fact that Polaris came out and said, you can only have this one mountain snowmobile this year. You can't have turbos. You can't have this. And I was like, well, that sucks. My clients want turbos. My clients want the best snowmobiles. They want to ride chaoses. Um, and there was, and I have a general love of Ski-Doo. I mean, you guys saw I always wore Ski-Doo sunglasses, so I, I belong at Ski-Doo at heart. But um, yeah, I think you have to be willing to try new things. That's why I'm getting into the adventure bike thing, is because the target demographic when we look at things, it's where the money is. You know, those guys are
Yeah,
retired, they
it
have
is.
money. You know, it's is the adventure of bike riding my favorite thing in the world? Absolutely not. Like I wish I could do hard enduro tours every single day of my life, um, and beat my body up. But the reality is, you know, I'm in this to make money. I have to. Um, my whole life has been power sports industry based. You know, I tried to be a software engineer for a couple years there, and ugh. But in the end of it, like I ride motorcycles and snowmobiles for a living. That's what I do. It's what I've done for a very long time, and I gotta hustle my ass off to do it. A lot of people don't know like how much work goes into this
Yeah, they don't.
business. I mean, Aaron,
It's just building
you
a
know.
business in general. People don't know.
I mean, I have to build myself as a brand, but I also have to build my business as a brand, um, and you know, I have guys coming in all the time wanting to create guide businesses just like mine, copy what I do, and it's hard. Good luck, man. That's all I'm going to say. Like if it's dude, this is one of the toughest industries to make it in. It really is. It's tough. It's brutal. Um, and I compete against guys who have millions and millions of dollars, and it's tough some days. But we survive because we're really good at what we do. Like it's just that it's just that. It's what I was born to be a guide, I think, and we put on an amazing service, and that's what keeps the people coming back.
Yeah, I agree, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you do, man. Kudos.
Patrick Warburton wishes he had an Insta360 X4. I wonder if he knew anyone that is super secret code. I do have an affiliate code, everyone, but I don't know what it is. So
Well, you're
I'll
gonna have
send
to
him an
do
email.
a follow up post, like, "Oh, hey, I found out the code. This is what it is."
Uh, yeah.
Well, sweet, man. Anything
Sweet.
else we want to talk about, or
No, I mean let's pow out tomorrow and you guys will see
okay?
some stuff from Aaron and I soon. Like I said, we want to do another Slaycation Moto trip
Yeah, we got a
up in
citation to
Idaho
do. We
this
got to
year.
go up to Oregon. We got Green
Aaron and
River
I
Dirt Bike Rally coming up. We got
we
Idaho City coming up.
Aaron and I have a top secret super project we can't talk to you guys about yet that's happening, but we're gonna help with the global launch of a new motorcycle. We can't say who it is or what it's at, what's happening, but that's coming up pretty soon too. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. So Aaron and I are gonna be hanging out a bunch here in the next couple weeks. Green River Dirt Bike Rally though. You guys should come down. It's a good time. What trails are you guiding?
I'm doing on the first day. I got 5 miles of hell, and then on the second day, he hasn't switched me yet. I was supposed to be doing the intermediate adventure bike tour guide, but my adventure bike isn't going to be here in time. And so he's supposed to be reassigning me. He said no problem, but then they sent out the new lists and it doesn't have me switch. So I got to figure that out.
Yeah,
So the
I'm
first day, I'm
doing
5 miles of hell.
Woodside Advance is my first day. My second day, 5 miles of hell. So
Yeah.
sign up,
Experts, double A Ron.
come down. It'll be a really good time.
They
And
have
then
really
yeah,
good food in Green River. It's really easy to drive from there, man. The trails here in 3 weeks when the event is just flipping fun. Like the dirt's good. It's
weather's good.
it's
The
just like
people are
the right weather.
fun. I've only been yelled at
Occasionally we get
once.
rain, but it hasn't been too bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be good, man.
Cool. Well, I will see you soon, my friend.
Okay, thanks for having me,
Thanks for
bud.
hanging
Appreciate
out
it.
tonight. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
stablemountain.com, is that your website?
Yeah, that's our website.
Check them out. Go ride with these boys up in Idaho. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun. It's a
go
lot
ride
of
with DJ.
fun.
Come ride with us. Tell us. Then you can go back and ride with DJ and be like, "Hey, this would need you to do better."
Well, I was with Ryan and Aaron, and they were a better time than you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just
But people come back for the experience, and that's what's been keeping us is like when people go with us, they have a course with us, or they go ride with us. That's what makes it. They're like, oh, these guys know what they're talking about. Like, I'm gonna listen to these guys. This is fun. And
Yeah,
that experience is what they're getting from us. And I think they get that from you too, DJ. When they go with you, they get an experience. Like the rental is one thing and the route is one thing. But if you don't give them that experience like that, I'm going to remember this for
that's right.
years.
Everyone
And
that
it's like,
comes and rides with me
why'd
is my
they even
homie.
come to you? Yeah,
Yeah,
why'd they even come to you if you don't give them an experience that lasts for years?
this is true. This is true. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go ride tomorrow. So,
I
yeah.
have to go do engineering stuff tomorrow.
Bummer, bummer. I'm gonna go ride
But in my
snowmobiles.
defense, I've been riding for like 5 days in a row.
It's true,
The first day we went with Mark. Ouch. Sorry, bro.
dude.
A
I think
kiss
I
for your boo boo.
popped something in my elbow. I fell in a
Uh
hole in
oh.
the other day.
Well, we went out with Mark Staples at Gallatin Abbey Center, helped him get obs the first day. And then we did the veterans ride. So Ryan and
Yeah,
I donated gear to the veterans. So All American Heroes did a veteran ride this weekend. We donated the gear to that, and then we were able to help Ride Rasmussen style go and show those guys around. So we did that for 2 days, and then we went out with Dave today to collect obs. And so
yeah.
it's been so I've been writing a lot, not as much as you, but a lot. So because I have been out riding, I have not been doing my engineering and taking care of my engineering responsibilities. So
Yeah, you
I
better
gotta go play
get
engineer. I
you
gotta
better
go
get
play engineer
there.
tomorrow and Wednesday.
Okay, we said we were gonna end this. We're gonna end this right now, but I want to ask you one question first
Okay.
from my Ortavox Avalanche
Ooh, flashcards. I
trivia.
like it.
Aaron, what is the ground surface temperature at the base of the snowpack? Is it A, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, B, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or C, it depends on the depth of the snowpack?
32 degrees Fahrenheit. A.
Ah, yeah, that's right. He knows. He knows.
I was really worried that you're gonna stump me in front of everybody.
No. There's
I
a
was
couple
like,
questions in
ooh, I'm
here,
like,
though.
don't make it too hard.
There's a couple questions in here. And that was the most difficult question, so very good. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going now. So
Okay,
good
bud.
night. Good
Peace
night.
out.
Love your face. I'll see you